Welcome to the Geek Easy, fellow geeks. Let's grab a beverage of your choice because today we will be reviewing Friday, Book 1 and 2, written by Ed Brubaker and drawn. Okay, it's written by Ed Brubaker and Marcos Martin. Published by Image Comics. It is a book that is referred to as a young adult, which is why at first, when I heard about it, I was reluctant to order it because it's a young adult book. As a kid, I used to love reading The Three Investigators, so, young adult books, great, but, I am not a young adult anymore. But when I was in Bosco's, my local comic shop, a week or two ago, I happened to see book 1 and 2 on the shelf. I read the back of it, was very intrigued by the story, and was like, okay, this is Ed Brubaker, and it was referred to as post-young adult. I pulled the trigger and got books 1 and 2. Did I like it? Stick around and find out. Okay, so let me give you the basic story behind the book. You have a young lady by the name of Friday Fitzhugh. It says here, a young adult detective hero finally grows up in the first volume of the post-YA masterpiece from acclaimed creators Ed Brubaker, Reckless Pulp, Criminal, and Marcos Martin, Private Eye, Daredevil, with brilliant colors and by Marcos Vincente. This is Friday Fitzhugh spends her childhood solving crimes and digging up occult secrets with her best friend, Lancelot Jones, the smartest boy in the world. But that was the past, and now she's in college, starting a new life on her own. Except when Friday comes back home for the holidays, she's immediately pulled back into Lancelot's orbit and finds that something very strange and dangerous is happening in their little New England town. It is literally the Christmas vacation from hell, and they may not survive to see New Year's Eve. Really good book. That made me pull the trigger, and I got books 1 and 2. So as it points out, Friday, she's on the train coming back to her town for Christmas vacation. And she's reminiscing about her past and how she's can't wait to get back in town, but she's also really nervous because something had happened between her and Lancelot the last day before she left to go to college. And she didn't want it to ruin their friendship, and she wanted to talk to him, but she wasn't sure if he wanted to talk to her about it, and she didn't know how to broach the subject. We've all been there, but when she gets there, just right after getting off the bus, she is picked up by Lancelot and the town sheriff, who they usually assist on the mysteries. Because Jupiter. I keep one to call him Jupiter from Jupiter Jones, the three investigators. Lancelot is involved in a mystery, and the sheriff is helping out. And once they are all get into it, going where they're going, shit really starts going woo, because this is one of the weird occult cases that they get into, and it starts to get weird and stuff happens. Now you eventually do find out, one, how Lancelot and Friday met, and how they just became friends, and then two, more importantly, what happened the night before she left that is causing her all the consternation. And then it's also showing the effect that's affecting how she's operating now in the here and now while she's helping investigate this mystery. And there's something that happens that just really blows it all to hell and makes it even more difficult for her to deal with. And it's so well crafted, as is virtually anything written by Brubaker. And it's not his normal type of story, in the sense that a lot of what he writes is from the criminal viewpoint. Not all, but a lot. I mean, you take a look at Criminal. You take a look at Reckless, who was not really a criminal. That guy is really morally ambiguous when it comes to right and wrong. You get like the Daredevil point and the Captain America point. Those are really kind of heavy morality, criminal conspiracy type things. That this one is just, it's more suited to the age of the girl. I mean, there's still the mystery, which is well crafted, the occult stuff, but it's more centered on this young girl who is not in any form or fashion a bad person, a criminal, morally ambiguous, but someone who's a person who's trying to figure out this mystery that has now really affected her on a personal level, and the proper motivation of why she needs to solve this, and what is driving her, and what her past, and it's so good. And I get all the way through book 2 only to find out that there is to be continued, and there isn't a book 3 yet. That there isn't a book. It's not done yet because it's not done. You haven't figured. They haven't figured the crime out yet. So there's more, and I'm really kind of really wanting to get more of it, but I can't because it's not. It's not published. So, yeah. But the story is, like I said, as with the Brubaker, is very well written as usual, and you have the art, which is different. I mean, here is Friday and getting home to visit her aunt, or her mother and her aunt. But I mean, look at just The art is a little different. I really haven't seen it like this, but somehow it actually works for this story. That's Lancelot right there in the corner, right? That's Lancelot right there. But it works. It's not really distracting, and there's a certain style to it that kind of goes along with the story. So I really can't complain too much about that, because it's, well, it's not my favorite style of art. It works. So I am going to give this a 5 out of a 5, just because it is Ed Brubaker, and recommend, if you are a fan of his, if you are a fan of mysteries, get it, because it's well worth the money. They're both about like $15-16 a piece. So that will, and it's worth it. So I recommend you pick it up. And anyway, let me know in the comments below what you thought of it if you've read it. If you have any more recommendations, and like, subscribe, and most of all, enjoy your mysteries.